Alright troops, how we doing? In this video is going to be explaining, having a complete breakdown of why having a step target is going to help you burn more fat. So just quickly get started. When most people talk about step goals or step targets, the first number that comes into mind is the 10,000 mark, and that actually originated from a company in China, the ones that invented the pedometer, like the wee watch that tracks your steps. And the number that they plucked out there was 10,000. At the time, there wasn't really anything to back that actually does anything for your health other than obviously it gets you out walking for a good bit. But studies since then have actually shown that 10,000 is like the optimal number for fat loss. So in the majority of countries around the world, the government normally tends to say every individual should aim for roughly about 30 minutes of exercise each day. Some countries it's an hour, it varies here and there. 30 minutes of walking a day equates to roughly about 8,000 steps, which is brilliant for weight loss and weight management. But having that additional 2,000 on top, taking you to 10,000, studies have shown that it optimises everything towards fat loss, weight loss and weight management. Obviously we've got to take into account that steps isn't the be all and end all, like everything starts with your diet. But if we take diet out of the equation, you're already in a caloric deficit with your diet, and focus purely on steps, then each individual person's step target or goal will most likely be different. It's completely dependent on what your average step count is at the moment. So someone who has a very active job who already walks 10,000 steps a day, obviously 10,000 steps a day isn't going to be their target. If they were looking to lose weight, they would have to bump it up from there. Someone that's got maybe a desk job that only maybe does 3,000-4,000 steps a day, 10,000 steps a day would be perfect. So if I had to do an example, the average person roughly burns about 60 calories per 1,000 steps. So let's say that you currently do 6,000 steps a day to maintain your current weight, which then you then bump the 6,000 that you do on average up to 8,000, which would equate to about 120 calories extra or more deficit per day. Over the course of 30 days or a month basically, that would mean you're burning roughly between 3,400 and 3,600 calories per or extra per month. In 1 pound of fat, there's 3,500 calories, so technically you would be burning one extra additional pound of fat per month just by bumping your steps up by 2,000, if you're an individual whose average is 6,000 obviously. So then let's say that you took it from 8,000 and kicked it up another notch and you started doing 10,000 steps a day. This would obviously double the previous numbers, which means your estimated or ideal weight loss or fat loss by the end of the month would then be £2 per month. Obviously it's completely dependent on the person and their start weight. There's lots of variables, but we're just basing this off the example that I've just gave. Since I touched on it, I'm going to talk about ways that people with desk jobs can reach their step target goal of 10,000. Obviously I get if you maybe only do 3,000 a day, an additional 7,000 steps a day might sound a wee bit daunting or just an absolute effort and you're like, no, fuck that. But if you do small things throughout the day, all these steps can add up. So what I would normally recommend is after each meal, just say for example you eat 3 meals a day, go a 10-minute walk. And if you do that, that's works out, so 3 10-minute walks a day would average out roughly about an extra 3,500 steps per day, and that's just going a 10-minute brisk walk 3 times a day, which you could quite easily do after each meal. Not only is it going to add to your step count for the day, it's also going to aid in digestion of the food, which is also just a domino effect of another benefit of just getting your steps up. Another way is drinking more water. I know it's going to sound stupid, but the more water you drink, the more trips to the toilet you're going to make, especially if you're in a big workspace or a desk job where the floor you're on is quite large. Going trips back and forth to the toilet throughout the day, obviously it might not be a lot of steps, but over the course of a day, then over the course of a month, all those steps will quickly add up, and it's going to help you push the number up each day for steps without actually making a conscious effort of thinking, right, I've got another 5,000 steps. You could quite easily cover an extra few hundred during work just by going to the toilet. Finally, I know this is one probably most people won't do, and it's just because pure habit of parking close to where it is you're going, but pick parking spaces that are further away from the entrance of the building or wherever it is you're working. Obviously, I know it's not going to be a lot, same again, it's going to add up over the course of the month, having to walk that extra distance to work and then back to the car. Definitely, if you're currently very inactive, or you've got a desk job or a job where you're just not moving about much, try all of those things and you'll quickly notice your step count does begin to climb. Before I go into the last bit of this video, I just want to ask if you could like, subscribe, comment, or if you're on Instagram, share it on your story or even save this post. It's just going to help with my engagement. Obviously, the more engagement the better it is for my page, so I would really appreciate it if you can do that for me. So finally, I'm going to talk about the other edge of the sword. So say for instance you were that 6,000 step average person, you bumped up to 10,000, and then a few months down the line your job strictens down on how often you can go to the toilet, breaks, whatever, and your steps drastically drop. Just say for instance they dropped by half. Now you're only doing 5,000 steps a day, which would mean the amount of calories you're burnt every single day has dramatically dropped as well. And if it was dropped by half, that would essentially mean the caloric deficit you were in has dropped by roughly about 700 calories, which if you have not adjusted your diet accordingly, so you're still eating the same amount of food as you were on 10,000 as you are now on 5,000, the difference in food between here and there is going to cause your weight to start gaining. And for the majority of people, and studies show this as well, it's mainly going to be fat tissue that you start to gain as well. So if for some reason or another you can't keep up with the step target or count, or you're just not managing it, make sure you adjust your diet accordingly and start to bring down calories, or else you're going to leave yourself where your metabolism's used to receiving this amount of food and burning this amount, and then all of a sudden you stop burning it. The caloric surplus that you're now going to be in is just going to cause you to start gaining weight back quickly. So I just thought I would mention it. Like, obviously steps are brilliant and it's great for your health, great for body composition, stuff like that, but if you don't keep it up and don't keep an eye on your diet, it's going to cause you to start gaining weight. But aye, that's it for this video, troops. I hope you can take away something at least from this video, or even if I've egged you on to kind of up your step game, start pushing and tracking your steps, setting yourself goals and targets. I can guarantee you'll start seeing improvements in your body composition, your cardiovascular health, and just general sense of well-being. Walks are great for your head, especially at times like this when we're in lockdown. Everyone's stuck inside. A 10, 20 minute, 30 minute walk, whatever it may be, just music in, clear the head. What a difference it can make for you. But aye, that's it before I keep rambling on. I hope you've enjoyed it, hope you've learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.